Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today for this webinar about maximizing your enterprise mobility and mobile testing strategy. We actually have an overwhelming turnout today of hundreds of people, showing again how sought after this information is and how important this topic is in today's enterprise space. We are here today to share some of the experiences that we are seeing out there in the market together with our partners from TCS, serving some of these enterprises with these exact challenges of maximizing their enterprise mobility and optimizing their mobile testing strategy. I have with me here Yoram Mizrahi, CTO and one of the founders of Perfecto Mobile, to start the presentation, followed by Siva Ganesan, Vice President and Global Head of Assurance Services at TATA Services, a leading player in this market. Yoram will start the presentation sharing some insights that we actually see in the enterprise market and talk about some of these key essential building blocks for a successful mobile quality management strategy. Following Yoram, Siva will, representing TATA, will talk about their experience on the same topic and actually share a case study with some very interesting facts of a leading U.S. enterprise that is a customer of Perfecto Mobile and TATA together. We'll conclude with a short demo delivered by Uzi from Perfecto Mobile, one of our quality management experts, and a few housekeeping rules before we move forward. First of all, you will all be muted for the duration of this webinar. You are more than welcome to actually ask questions. On the right-hand side, you have a Q&A panel. We'll be answering these questions live through the chat tool. Finally, if you can take 2-3 more minutes after the webinar to complete a survey, we'll appreciate it greatly, just to know how well we did and what you would like us to cover in the next webinars. So with this note, I'm handing it over to you, Yoram, and you are supposed to get the presentation right now. Yoram? I seem to have a little problem with the audio. So 1 second.
Okay, hello?
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear. Take it away.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Okay, so
before you start, share your screen. Share your screen so everybody can see it, okay?
Okay, just a second.
Thank you.
Can everyone see me now? See my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Hi, everyone. My name is Yoram. Okay, I'm the CTO for Perfecto. Let's just start. Okay, so what do we see? Okay, in the when it comes to mobile, okay, in the enterprise, we are seeing 3 major trends, okay, happening, okay, today. Okay, if you like, okay, they are not related, okay, but of course they represent what's happening in the mobile market. The first one, okay, I call it there are various mobile maturity phases. Okay, so and I'll discuss this, of course, okay, but each company, okay, is seeing itself, okay, in various phases, okay, when it comes to mobile. Okay, the second one, okay, is that mobile applications are getting more mature, okay, in the sense that users are asking for, you know, a keep it simple approach, okay, from the mobile application, requesting a much richer and nicer user interface, not necessarily fields and buttons, okay, but also utilizing some other abilities, okay, of the mobile devices. The third trend, okay, that we are seeing today, okay, is related to DevOps. Now, DevOps, of course, okay, was not invented because of mobile. But because of the hectic mobile market atmosphere, if you like, we are seeing, okay, development is being very highly stimulated, okay, in this market. There are much more changes, okay, those are happening much faster in that case. And of course, there is a very strong need from the market, okay, to keep up, okay, on not only on devices, okay, but also on features. When we look at the user interface for mobile, okay, so this is just a comparison. Okay, when we're looking about the typical web application, okay, so we had a keyboard and a mouse, okay, which could do various operation, okay, and a screen to output the result. But when it comes to mobile, okay, you can see here, okay, this is much more complicated. Okay, so from the user perspective, it's much easier. Okay, but with mobile, first you got 5 fingers. Okay, but audio, for example, okay, is a very legitimate input control and output control. Okay, using of the camera, using of the location. Okay, using NFC. Okay, in that case, this actually stimulates much richer user interface, and also from the output side. Okay, so this could be just even rotating the screen. Okay, for viewing things differently. The audio output, okay, is something that we are seeing more and more in application today, and this could go all the way to augmented reality. And users are expecting that today. Okay, so if at the beginning we saw projects which are web going mobile, today we are seeing more and more projects, okay, which are true mobile applications. Let's look at the market, okay, just, for a second, okay, I'm sure many of you, okay, are familiar with the numbers, okay, but if you look today, this is a worldwide numbers, okay, so this is not just US, okay, so smartphones already outsell, basic feature phones today. They represent 52% of the market. I'm speaking about the entire world market, okay, over here. With the distribution, okay, as you can see below, okay, Android represents about 70%, or actually a little bit higher. In the US, the situation is a bit different, okay, with more of 60-40%, okay, between Android, okay, and iOS. In that case, but it's very clear today, okay, that smartphones, okay, is the main method of users of communicating with enterprises all around the world. Now, if we look at what's happening, okay, in mobile, every enterprise, okay, is going mobile. Okay, this is quite clear. Okay, so the reasoning for that, okay, might be different. Okay, so this could be because of the cost saving, and probably to explain that, okay, a little bit, because in mobile as a business tool, okay, is normally eliminating some of the other human methods, okay, which was used. This could be instead of a call center, this could be instead of a teller in the bank, and this is really saving cost for everyone. Okay, in that case, everyone needs to go mobile, of course, because of the competition. Okay, so employees, okay, inside the enterprise, okay, are pushing this very hard, and of course, mobile is increasing productivity. Okay, so just some figures. Okay, so you can see, you can use those, of course, but the numbers are overwhelming. Okay, so only in the enterprise mobility space, okay, we are seeing, tremendous amount of numbers. Okay, so in that case, look at mobile banking. Okay, US only. Okay, already using this number. Okay, is a bit low. Okay, in that case, we are seeing today number of already about 50 million subscribers to mobile banking. So let's talk a little bit, okay, about the different mobile maturity phases, okay, as I started with. We are identifying 3 major phases, okay, if you like: the run, the grow, and the transform. The run phase, I like to call it, well, we need to do something in mobile. Everyone is doing something in mobile. We need to do something in mobile, okay, as well. Marketing is all around us, okay, we need to do something. Well, in the growth phase, okay, you would see something like, well, mobile is actually working for us. This is good. Okay, now we need a little bit more. Okay, we need more abilities, we need more features. There's obviously more projects and, of course, much more resources, okay, which are allocated into that. Today, depending on the different verticals, okay, in the industry, but we are seeing many companies, okay, which are in the growing phase, okay, and some companies which are going into the transform phase. When going into the transform, okay, there are two factors which is involved here. The first one is greatly improve the user experience. Okay, so and I gave the example before, okay, with the mobile engagement language. Okay, but this is where we are seeing companies adding voice-activated application which can utilize the camera and the location much more. Okay, and this increases significantly the adoption of users. On the other hand, okay, in the transform phase, we are seeing companies which are starting to look at mobile as part of their entire IT strategy and governance. This means, okay, that now you need to start thinking, okay, about what's the risk involved, okay, with mobile. What do I do, okay, in order to manage this much better? Of course, the trick, okay, is to have a solution which can help you go from one phase to another phase very quickly and without, major earthquake, okay, if you like, between the different phases. In many cases, okay, we are seeing organizations which are saying, well, we need to do something. Let's just do something very quickly, and then there is if you like, a problem going into the next phase. Okay, so I'll just skip that, but run, okay, is what's right for me right now. Okay, in terms of my workflow. Grow, okay, the processes, coverage, okay, and reliability, okay, which I need to address. Okay, and the transform is all about the engagement and the predictability, okay, of the mobile solution. Okay, so just looking at the different attributes of each one of those phases. Run is all about limited. Okay, so this could be limited scale. Okay, this could be few devices, okay, which are required, okay, and just a few features which are required from the mobile application. In most cases, those will be local resources, okay, with limited budget, okay, and in most cases, IT needs to be outside of the picture, okay, so the involvement of the enterprise IT should be quite limited. When you're looking at grow, okay, you're starting to see attributes such as the ability to do offshoring, okay, of the testing, of the development, okay, for the application, much more device coverage. Okay, so now I need to increase the coverage of the devices in two angles. First, I'm reaching a wider audience now, and second, I already have a history which I need to support. Okay, so in that case, I need to do much more coverage on the test cases. Okay, if in the run phases, okay, the functionality was quite limited, this is where the functionality is getting richer. Device administration, suddenly it's no longer two devices on the table, okay, which are used for development and testing. This could reach now tens, dozens of devices, okay, or even few hundreds of devices. And of course, the continuous delivery. Okay, normally that phase, enterprises understand, okay, that if they want to sustain deliver something into the market, okay, in a sustained way, they need to have a continuous delivery method, okay, when it comes to mobile. The last would be the transform. Okay, so as I said, mobile engagement, okay, the usage of a much richer user interface, okay, from the mobile application is very important. Monitoring the user experience, and this is where we are seeing many companies today starting to treat that as very important, okay, because most monitoring solutions are geared toward monitoring servers, but mobile represents a little bit or much more complexity, okay, into that, especially when it goes to native application. Okay, so native application cannot be monitored unless they are actually running on real devices. performance. Okay, so how do my application actually perform? Okay, in the market. Okay, so when the server is loaded, when the network conditions are not perfect. Okay, in that case, and of course governance. Okay, so how do I truly manage the risk? Okay, associated with my mobile application delivery and mobile application deployment. Okay, in delivery, I'm saying, can I really control all the devices that I have? Can I really make sure, that those devices do not contain sensitive information, which can be stored, lost, or whatever? Can I really make sure that I'm covering sufficient test cases to meet my regulation needs, for example? All of those are coming into this picture, normally transforming that the mobile projects are quite mature. In that case, they are still growing, of course. But this is where the business, the entire business strategy, and governance, come into place. Sorry. So when looking at the various challenges, that we have today, the business have today, so this is obviously better user experience, which is very important, lowering the delivery cost, especially at the grow and transform phase, accelerating the delivery model. In many cases, we are seeing the need to deliver faster, as coming relatively close to the growth phase, where you just need to answer the market much quicker, and of course this relates to the market dynamics. What do we believe? So in terms of the solution, so we believe that the solution should leverage the managed device cloud. So this means that devices should be managed, just like any IT resource in the organization. Devices on the table are quite good for the run phase. They are not good for the growth phase. They are practically speaking not really an option for the transform phase. Those phases will come, so you better plan in advance, how to use that. Of course, use real device on the real condition as much as you can. Simulators or emulators are great tools for development. I do encourage the usage of them all the time. But when it comes to testing, the difference between the devices is something that you must take into concern. Very important, is the next bullet, which is the usage of unattended continuous testing. In many cases, we are seeing automation solutions which are indeed the ability to run scripts. So this indeed is automation, but seeing the true meaning of automation is unattendancy. So if your automation, is not running unattended, this is not true automation. Last bullet, I would say, in this term, you already have an ALM solution. So you invested years, in perfecting the life cycle management, of your delivery. Don't start from scratch. See whatever processes, and policies, and tools you can use today, and extend them into mobile. So mobile is not less complicated. If anything, it's more complicated. You better use this knowledge that you already have. The value for this, is of course raising the quality, being able to deliver much faster, support concurrent, support the current processes, of course the optimizing and optimizing the performance. When we look at our solution, so the Perfecto mobile cloud solution, we treat that as an enterprise-grade cloud, which should support, practically speaking, 3 phases. The application itself, both for development and testing abilities. So this of course can be onshore, nearshore, or offshore. The ability to do operation, in terms of monitoring, and ongoing support for customers, and the ability to control this platform in terms of scaling, in terms of extending that to various locations, and of course, very important in terms of the governing perspective, meaning security, policies, okay, and all of that. I think I'm done. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Yoram. Moving the presentation right to you, Siva. Please take it away.
Sure.
And you can mute me again, probably.
Thank you, Yoram. This is Siva here, and over the next 10 or so minutes, I will add to what was said in terms of the challenges we see when it comes to the whole space of assurance and testing in the mobile marketplace. And in terms of partnering, how we and Perfecto together have been able to deliver value to our customers. And I will illustrate that with a case study also towards the end of my presentation. So to complement or to add to what was said earlier, we certainly see quite a few diverse types of challenges when it comes to testing in this space. One of the key things is always what you see on this particular chart, which is the aspect of performance. Since all the apps that reside on smartphones and other devices are instantly accessible to end consumers, there is always a very high degree of implied expectation that the way these apps respond to the touch of a consumer, or increasingly even to the voice of a consumer, has to be near real time. So in our experience, when we encounter the challenges around build and test of such apps, we find that a very high degree of robust performance engineering has to be done. A lot of performance testing has to be done to make sure that anything to do with the responsiveness of the app is immediately attended to. And this is certainly one of the top asks that we see from various customers. Following a close second is certainly the fact that there has to be a high degree of the weightage or the ratings that the apps get. There is a lot of importance attached to the fact that the app has to be highly visible, and additionally, it has to be extremely favorably be received by the marketplace. What does this imply from a testing perspective? Well, usability comes to mind, and that is what you see on the screen. But more important than usability, it has to be complete catering to the workflow of the application, of the functionality that the app offers, so that there is a navigational ease of use of the app per se, which enables end consumers to really rely on these applications, rate them very favorably, and therefore convey a sense of stickiness, or to a brand attribute their loyalty to, and therefore propagate the word that a given app is extremely well done and favorably received in the marketplace. So the rating of the app is indeed very important. Next comes something which would appear very obvious, but I think, like Yoram said, is extremely sophisticated. When we look at the device ecosystems of the market today, when we look at the fact that these apps have to also cater to enterprise transactions, and these are highly heterogeneous. They manifest on different types of devices. They typically have a heritage or a legacy backend. They have to go across a wide variety of middleware or mid-range servers and transactions and services as well. The complexity is really mind-boggling. The number of points of failure or the number of nodes of failure that could occur are exponentially higher these days. So a very simple business transaction, which architecturally was probably monolithic, say 5 to 10 years ago, or probably vesting on 2 or 3 layers of a client-server tiered application of a decade or so ago, has now become broken down, sliced, manifests as innumerable number of discrete services that run on a wide variety of hardware architectures. They aren't typically real-time synchronous. There is a little bit of asynchronicity that also comes into these transactions. And therefore, to repeat the point or restate the message, the number of points of failure is incredibly high. Now, what does that impose on people who are in testing? It means simply that when it comes to testing mobile applications, when it comes to testing applications that reside on smartphones and have hooks into enterprise data centers or into clouds, the right degree of test coverage from a functional and from an engineering standpoint has to be addressed. It means that the types of beyond functional testing that one needs to do, you could call it engineering types of testing. We typically classify them under various nomenclatures such as performance, load, volume, stress, reliability, scalability, extensibility, and increasingly compatibility to forward and backward ecosystems. All these have to be adequately tested, and you know what? In half the amount of time that was given to assurance and testing professionals in the past. And that is because release cycles have become increasingly high frequency. Everybody wants to push apps into production intra-week, if not intra-day. And everybody wants a continuous amount of new feature functionality with a high degree of quality and reliability to be pushed into the field. So really, there is a confluence of factors that you could say make it the perfect storm for testing. And that is where newer, sophisticated engineering rigor-centric methods have to be pushed out. And that is something that we see often demanded by customers of us. And so my next view, which is really what is the test strategy to address this kind of complexity and sophistication in the market space. On one hand, you could call it the act of testing, needs to be done faster, cheaper, better. The other is you could call it the act of assurance, which means a lot of proactive engineering method with a little bit of science and strategy thrown in has to be practiced. And that is what we are trying to convey here. Let us look at the different nodes that we have articulated here. If you look at the top left-hand side of your screen, you see device spectrum. This was touched upon earlier. There's a bewildering assortment of devices out there, various operating systems changing by the quarter. There's a wide variety of hardware coming out there. The number of permutations that one needs to test for is, like I said earlier, exponentially order of magnitude getting complex as the seasons pass by. We cannot bypass any one ecosystem or class of devices simply because there has to be some consumer out there who's consuming some service or app on what to them is their desired ecosystem of choice. So as professionals, we've got to assure everything. We've got to cover everything. So the device spectrum becomes a huge point for consideration. Next, look at tools. We've partnered extensively with Perfecto, and there's a wide variety of tools that have to be additionally looked at when it comes to looking at the end-to-end view of the enterprise. So there is a very definite tooling strategy that has to be embarked on. Let's look at engineering. We talked of performance and latency. There's a wide amount of engineering requirements that have to be planned for from a capacity standpoint. After all, we want to size, do the right proof of concept, prototypes up front, even from an engineering standpoint, so that we don't have to redesign and incur rework down the road. There's the issue of services integration. There's a wide variety of players in the marketplace. All of that has to be integrated and tested for. The network is so very important, but there is so much of fluctuation and volatility when it comes to the network variances that we encounter, including carrier types, including spectrum types, including the impact of geography and local marketplaces on the network. All that has to be considered. Resources, I don't need to amplify this point. There's a diverse, heterogeneous blend of skills that are required to test mobile applications, ranging from engineering through to industry and domain types. The wide variety of testing services come next: functional, beyond functional, and specialty types of testing. Processes have to be extremely agile. Everyone wants to launch quick, and therefore testing has to go hand in glove in an independent way with dev and DevOps. And lastly, the application platforms. Wide variety and very heterogeneous there as well. So the mobile test strategy has to take care of catering to that. The point on this slide is it is incredibly complex. This is a theme that we are saying again and again, and customers definitely recognize this and ask partnerships like ours to deliver value into the diversity that's out there. And that's what we are trying to reiterate over here. Now let me dwell very quickly, a few minutes, on a caselet. The case in point here is a conglomerate in the financial services space, US-based, who wanted to strategically embark on the mobile channel for all the obvious reasons that the market study that Yoram talked about points about. Here, the specific objective was to enable customers, their end consumers, to subscribe and to consume services in the financial services space from their enterprise. A wide variety of business and IT challenges, as you see here. On the business side, obviously the legacy transactions performed very well. So when exposed through the app channel with additional features, it had to be still safe, secure, and reliable. Had to cater to multiple releases. As you would expect, a wide variety of operating systems that we see in the marketplace. Had to be optimized for costs. In terms of IT challenges, you would think of these as typical shared infrastructure across lines of business or multiple units, a wide variety of target devices accessible across different geographical locations, and definitely test automation and monitoring of the apps that were built were key. And what did we do in terms of the partnership that TCS had with Perfecto? Well, firstly, the notion of a cloud and setup of that was embarked on. You see that as the first bullet point. We embarked on a management office for the lab, which meant the cloud had to be managed with co-creation of services between, between Perfecto and ourselves, while the platform and the offering was built around Perfecto technology. TCS brought in domain knowledge, the knowledge of the banking and financial services industry, a lot of process frameworks and tools to complement what was being brought to the table in terms of the platform, reusable assets and frameworks, and also in terms of optimizing costs, the continuous improvement principle, besides skilled workforce and associates across the globe. So we had dedicated service lines that were implemented to cater to the wide variety of SLAs that were sought. We had specialist services for functional, non-functional, and beyond functional, as in specialty testing. We also had a service catalog device for on-demand testing. We think this will be of interest to a lot of people who are listening into this particular webinar. And of course also process rigor through frameworks, user manuals, and the like. The outcome, the output was something that we focused on. Multiple concurrent projects, all having their own rapid pace from an agile perspective. Because we had a very structured approach, we were able to streamline and parallelize and deliver in tandem. Early defect detection and assurance was focused on. So the whole notion was on prevention rather than detection. And last but not the least, early automation and continuous testing, which meant that coverage was quite significantly enhanced. We didn't wait till the end of all the services getting or the apps getting built to commence testing. A lot of parallelization and early stuff was done. So what you see in these two slides really is a culmination of some of the themes I talked about, a wide variety of diverse consumer expectations, sophistication in mobile test strategy, coming alive in this kind of an instance here. And therefore, you know, really my parting message in terms of how do we get most bang for the buck when it comes to looking at an all-round view or a holistic view, really, of mobility assurance and testing. We tend to call it the 360-degree view. It is an all-round view. I'm not necessarily walking you through every point you see here, but as you can see, it is beyond just technology, and it is beyond just a platform. It is just something that is comprehensive. It looks at the aspects of the domain, the technology, the kind of partnership that we have with Perfecto that is brought to the table. It looks at reusable assets, frameworks, and innovation. It looks at continuous improvement. And therefore, what do we aim to deliver at the end of the day to the marketplace? It is outcome. It is results. It is signing up for SLAs and KPIs to say that we really can deliver to results and not just provide fungibility of a resource pool. It is immediacy of deployment, which means the theme of Agile is practiced too. We are very well aware of release cycles that are hyper and therefore subscribe to that. Expedited implementation, therefore. And lastly, efficiency. By having a certain model with a cloud and a technology and a platform in place, there is more ROI for customers as well who consume service in a service catalog mode from this model. So this really is the culmination of what is a strong partnership between both organizations, which brings the best-in-class methods of both organizations, which will increasingly deliver more value to the marketplace. With that, I'd like to turn it back.
So thank you very much, Siva. Uzi, you should be getting the presentation right now, and we're all ready to go with your demo. So please take it away, Uzi. Uzi, you just need to unmute yourself, and then everybody will be able to hear you. Yeah.
Hi everyone, can you hear me now?
Perfectly.
So, thank you for my colleagues. Both of them describe how complicated is the mobile application ALM and how complicated it is to test the application. So in today's demo, I will focus in the automation. And more than that, I will focus about how to reuse the same script that you created on one device or on one platform and execute it on multiple platforms. But before we will start with the automation, I would like to describe Perfecto Mobile solution. So Perfecto Mobile provides a cloud of devices. We are talking about real devices. So in order to work with real devices, all I need to do is to select a device from list of devices. When I'm open a device, I can work on the device like I hold it in my hand. I can open any application. I can open the browser. I can press any button, and I can control the device. In today's complicated world, most of the QA team are located in a different location. So this tool, this enterprise-ready cloud allowed the QA teams to share the devices, to share the resources between the different people and between the different testers, which located in a different location. So, as I mentioned, I would like to focus on the automation. So what I want to do right now, I would like to open Perfecto Mobile add-in to the UFT. So Perfecto Mobile works together with HP and has a UFT add-in that allows us to create the script and the automation in the UFT tool. What I did here, what I created here, is a one script that tests the United application. This test is a very simple test that tests a specific flight status. But remember, what I want to do, I would like to create one script and execute it on multiple platforms. I would like to execute it on iPhone, and I would like to execute it on Android. So in today's automations, well, there are two ways to create an automation. One based on a visual object and the other based on the native objects. Both of the way supported by Perfecto mobile tools. In today's demo, I would like to focus on the first way, on the visual way, because I got some benefit when I'm executing the visual way. So the visual way is actually that the way that Perfecto Mobile works. We are analyzing the script, we are analyzing the screen of the device and looking for specific objects based on the properties. For example, if I want to open the United application, I will look for the icon of the application, or I will look for the name of the application. So what I want to do now, I would like to execute the script. And the first thing that I would like to do is to take the device ID. Okay, so right now I'm taking the device ID. And when I'm executing the script, I need to provide the device ID as parameter to the script. The scripts, or this specific script and Perfecto Mobile scripts, are device agnostic, which means I will be able to execute the script on multiple devices. So what I have here, I'm going to test the United application, and the system opened the United application. I added a checkpoint that validates that the application has been opened. I enter into the edit box the flight status, press the search button, and the most important thing, I added two validation to the script. I would like to validate that this flight is actually from Washington to London. So I execute one script that opens the application, enter a flight status, and validate that the application retrieves the right data to the screen. Everything was based on the visual object. If I'll open the report right now, you will see that all the validation ended successfully. All the checkpoints looks good. The system, for example, find the object flight status by the name, and the validation find the Washington DC by the name. Everything reported and added to the report, and everything was based on the visual properties. What I want to do now, I would like to execute the same script on the Samsung. So what I'm doing right, I'm taking my Samsung device ID, execute the same script by providing the Samsung device ID. So I have one transaction, which is check a flight status, that I'm executing on the iPhone and Android. I'm using the same script, and I execute it on multiple platforms. And this is a very critical feature in automation. When you create one script in automation, you must reuse the script. You must reuse the script between the versions, but also between the different devices. So if you want to test your application, or if you want to test your application on a variety of devices, you must have an automation, and you must use the script once feature. More than that, this script one feature allowed me to execute the same test on a new devices that release in the market. For example, if tomorrow the Galaxy S5 will be released, I still will be able to use the same script. Why? Because the transaction and the transaction flow is the same on all the devices. So again, I executed the same script. I open specific flight status, and I'm executing the right, and I'm executing the same validation. I would like to mention one difference in the script itself, and this is the script. This is the difference. Sometimes on a different platform, you have a different feature. For example, on the Android, I have my main button, and on the iPhone, I have my home button. So we have the OS as a property of the object that we are using, and we can have a specific test or a specific step based on this or based on the OS. From my experience, 85 to 90% of the script will be the same, but you need to change only to handle the different buttons, or if you have a different implementation in a specific for a specific device, you need to add this condition. But 85 to 90% of the script will be the same. What I want to do now is take it one step further. So what we test one transaction, check the flight status, on a native application. But the same transaction appears in the United web page, the web browser. So what I want to do, I would like to execute the same script and test the same transaction, but right now on the web. Before I will execute it, I would like to show you another condition that I added to the script. And the condition is based on my need. If I would like to open the application, if I would like to test the application, I'm opening the application. But if I would like to open the web, I'm opening the web. And that's it. The same script will continue to run. So what I'm going to do now, again, I'm taking the iPhone device ID, executing the run button, change two parameters. First of all, I mentioned that I would like to work on my iPhone, and now I would like to test the web browser. So I'm running the same script now, not on the native application, but on the web application. So you can see in my web application, I have the same transaction, flight status. So the same button, flight status found here, and the same edit box, flight number appear here. So I'm entering this edit box, and here I'm pressing the search button and have the same validation. So I validate that I have the right data on the screen. I used one script and executed on the iPhone, on the Android, and on my web application. So this is the power of the visual analysis. If we used the native object, the object between the web and the native application are different. So I should create two scripts, one for the web that can work on all the platforms, and one for the native applications that can work on the all the platform. In this case, what I did, I created one script that used a visual object and been executed on the Android and on the iPhone. Before we will finish, I just want to show you how Perfecto Mobile works and how to add this object. So what I'll do, I'll open the United application, and I'll go to the United page. So you can see here that I have two different objects. I'm talking about my flight status button or book a flight button. Okay, so I have the book a flight button. It appears on the native application. It appears on my web application. And in order to define a button that use this specific visual properties like the label book flight, I just add the button, named the label book, and press the try button. What happened right now? Perfecto Mobile analyze the screen and find the exact objects based on the name. So remember, we are talking about script 1. So what I did right now, I just replaced the device and executed the same command, and you can see that the system finds the same object based on the name, it's the same name on the web application. So again, when you are using visual analysis, visual object automation, you can create one script and describe different objects based on the label or based on the visual properties. Thank you very much. That was my demo.
Thank you very much. It was a great demo, and thank you, Yoram and Siva. We are reaching the end of the hour, but I do have maybe a few minutes to read out some of the questions that you have been asking us through the Q&A chat tool on the webinar system. So one question that has been repeating itself. By the way, on the screen now you can see our contact details. If you want to contact Perfecto Mobile or TCS, it's pretty much the same thing. We work together, and feel free to do so with anything. A need you have, suggestions for the next webinar, information, guidance, anything, please feel free to do so. And as I said before, after the webinar itself, you have a short survey. It'll be highly appreciated if you take these few minutes to share a little bit further what you thought and what we should do next. We want to provide the right information to you. So back to the questions. The most common question was about UFT Mobile and what this is. So Unified Functional Testing is what used to be QTP, Quick Test Professional by HP. It's the new name is Unified Functional Testing, or UFT. HP Software and Perfecto Mobile have jointly developed the mobile extension to this solution, which is actually HP's official mobile functional testing solution, and HP calls it UFT Mobile. What it is actually is an extension to UFT, connecting it to Perfecto mobile cloud platform that Uzi has just demoed. It lets you stay within the environment that you know, within QTP, UFT. You don't need to learn any other automation, scripting, language, or anything else, the old familiar interface. But you can do all of that on real mobile devices. We took care of all of the translation in the back, letting you continue to use the tools that you know, the workflows and processes that you already have in place, and extending that to mobile. This is a very big plus if you're using the HP software ALN tools in your organization. And TCS are the experts in order to help you make this transition and make that leap. So that is what UFT Mobile is. And at this point, I want to thank everybody for joining us today for the webinar in such big numbers. We will be sharing the recording of this webinar with everyone that attended. And we really hope to see you all in our next webinar together. So thank you very much, Siva. Thank you very much, Yoram and Uzi. And thank all of you for joining us today. And hope to see you soon in our next webinar together.